Oh, hi there. Cello. Hey now. Hola. And ba weep grana weep ninny bong. However you want to say it, welcome to that Kev One show.
Well, friends, my next guest is not just an actress and writer, but also a former associate producer at TV Guide, a former professor at New York Film Academy, who not only has survived in LA, but thrived. And if you're lucky enough, she could be your teacher. Please welcome, fresh from the front lines of the historic WGA Sag-aftra strike, screenwriter Lindsay Stidham. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. I had to think really hard about that TV Guide thing for a second. I was like, have I ever worked there? And I was like, I have worked there. It was a long time ago.
Oh my Yeah, I saw that credits. I was like, okay, I'm writing this one down. So yeah, it's that's interesting. Like, what did you do there?
I literally just filled in for a friend who was a producer.
Hmm.
I just filled in for him for like 2 weeks, but that's like the only time I've ever worked at TV Guide.
Oh. What does that entail? Is it like, you didn't by chance like do what I always kind of wanted to do as like a teenager and to this day, almost like where you write the description of a movie or show? No? Or what'd you do exactly?
I think it was for like a particular show, like a home improvement show or something, and it was
Hmm.
pretty much just logging footage. So it was not super exciting. But I did work on a show in the field that was really fun, a reality show that was on TV Guide. So maybe that's
Oh.
why when you Google me, some of that comes up, I guess. I don't know.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
since the historic strike's over that you were a huge part of fighting for, like we can talk about that show. What was that reality show?
It was called The Tequila Sisters, but not
Hmm.
Tila Tequila.
Okay, I was gonna say
It
like it
was
sounds
some
familiar, but I might be thinking of her.
Yes, it was some other sisters, and it was
Hmm.
about their relationship and their family, and yeah, it was really interesting because they were super game to say lines, which I'm a big advocate for. Maybe at some point in time, reality writers, because there's so much writing in reality, to
Yeah.
maybe be to join the guild. That would be incredible. But
Yeah, in
yeah.
fact, touching on that, I remember when I lived in LA, there was I don't know if it was there was a brief writer's strike or if it was just a writer friend who had a shirt from the previous strike. But he gave me one of the shirts, and like I remember, I still have it here and there, and I wear it on laundry days. But it says something like, it has a list of all these shows and entities that you wouldn't believe. A lot of the laymen, the people out there who weren't as familiar, wouldn't believe are actually written, like reality shows. Um,
Totally.
yeah, which is just
Totally.
so wild. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Where are you now?
Right now I'm in Portland, Oregon. That's where this is headquartered.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. And
You're,
when did you leave? When did you leave LA?
ooh, let's see. Is it, like 6 years ago, maybe?
Okay, okay,
Four.
got it.
Yeah.
You ever want to come back, or you're done?
I mean, I definitely go back up there for like stuff, for filming stuff. I did like an indie there. I think the most recent time I was in LA for, well, for anything, I think I was when I did You Bet Your Life with Jay Leno, that game
Oh,
show.
cool. Yeah, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I know people fall in love with Portland and don't leave, so I do respect that.
You know, one thing that's funny is like when I first, because I was born and raised here, when I first went to LA, and people are like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, Portland, Oregon, the best city on earth." Haha, you know. And they'd be like, "Portland, Maine? Portland where?" And I was like, "Portland, Oregon, guys, what the hell?" And I was even mad when I heard that Pasadena was called like the city of roses. I'm like, we grow roses in Portland. It's not like all something. But when I was coming back here, when I was moving back to Portland, and I was still in LA, packing and stuff or whatever, and then people said, "Oh, Portland." I brought it up. People always, by and large, the same number, if not more, were all on the opposite end of the spectrum saying, "Oh, I always wanted to go to Portland. I love Portland, Oregon, Portlandia, Voodoo Donut and all that." It's like, huh. So,
Oh yeah, Portland
yeah.
is a thing, and I feel like you guys have
Yeah.
a decent indie movie scene as well.
Oh,
So.
yeah. I've been like more busy here than I was there. But of course, you can probably attest to this at least to some degree, how expensive it is there. And especially moving there from somewhere else. It was just so hard to survive financially. You know what I mean? Like you weren't like really doing too much socially, and it was just like paying to survive there. So When I came back here, I was doing
LA
with
is expensive for sure, and it's changed a lot. But I've heard the same about Portland. I've heard Portland is very expensive now.
Oh, yeah, now, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
important part. Yeah, like before it was so cheap. I mean, it was just like, oh, and now it's like, whoa. It's like I feel like I'm paying maybe not as much, but almost as much as I was paying for my Burbank apartment across from Warner Brothers there here now, which is like unbelievable to me. It's like what? But
Yeah.
it is still Portland. I mean, like it's changed a lot. Like a lot of people have said, and like, but you might leave some huge venue where like big people are playing, and like, oh, I parked across the street. It's not like the valets and everything in LA and everything. So it's still different, but yeah, the lines are a little more blurred for sure. I'd say.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you found your way back, but it sounds like you're also finding your way back here a lot, so that's good.
Yeah, trying, yeah. So, yeah, it's funny, like, when I first came back, I was like, all right, I'll, like, get back on my feet, maybe I'll work on some screenplays. And then at the time, there was, like, tons of stuff filming. Like, I played a killer on Cold Case Files that filmed an episode here. But there's always at least two things filming, it felt like. Like, there was a Portlandia, and then that bled into the same team, documentary now. And there was like a show Librarians, and there was always like a movie or something. Now it's like Indieville. It feels like on average. So
Yeah. I'm sure things will trickle back because LA needs better tax incentives. It's not. It's tough to film here. It's very expensive to film here right now, which is weird because we're supposed to be the Mecca. So
yeah, still the crown jewel of filming, but like no, I remember that there, huh? Like everything was outsourced. I remember when I did that true crime show on Cold Case Files. I mean, I was here in town for like the holidays. It must have been, but I was literally still living in LA. I want to say, and I remember I was using Casting Frontier, which if any viewers don't know, it's like a casting website, and like so I was submitting this stuff in LA for when I was going to be in there and again, and like in a week or 2 weeks or whatever. And Cold Case Files it said filming in Portland, Oregon, and must be willing to travel there. And part of my message was I'm from Portland. I'm here right now. So it's funny doing like a Skype interview then, and that was before well, Skype was a thing obviously before Skype blew up in everyone's lives with COVID and everything.
yeah, totally. Yeah.
Sorry, speaking of you though, the guest, are you filming anything now, or got anything in the pipeline in the immediate future?
Yeah, I am definitely going to shoot a short film early next year. The goal is to shoot it in February as a proof of concept for a feature. It's called Sunset, and it is very LA. It is about a couple who agree to walk the length of Sunset Boulevard to save their relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. So rom-com / love letter to LA / slightly anti-rom-com as well. And I'm really looking forward to filming the short version soon, and then work on raising money for the feature. And then always writing, of course, like writing a lot of stuff. But yeah.
Oh, very cool. How far along are you with the whole production of Sunset? Like, is it like all written, the first part, and casted, or what?
Yes, I wrote it for Eric Edelstein and Ashley Ray Spillers. I wrote the feature for them because I love both of them, and they're both huge muses for me. I think they're both so talented, and they've always wanted to work together, and they never have. So it felt like a no-brainer to write for them to do something together. And there is already both a short script and a feature script, and I feel like I just kind of nailed the shorts. For me, sometimes shorts are harder than the feature. Shorts can be really hard because you have so much to get done in such a short amount of time. And do you go cliffhanger, or do you try to tell a 3-act story? And there's so many questions of trying to master the short form, for sure. But yeah, they are both in really good shape, and we are now just trying to see if we can get it done for $3,000, which is the amount of money we have set aside to make the short for. So
that's awesome.
that's like the trick, but I think are gonna make it happen, and just submitted it for a bunch of grants as well. It'd be incredible to have those, so we would have like a little more padding to make it, but we will see. Like come hell or high water, I'm really wanting to be shooting that in February.
Oh, very well. Yeah, well, I'm sure you're gonna do it. Yeah, I was talking with last week's guest that's premiering Friday, but Fred Melamed about like just like the the lore of filmmaking, and like he was talking, especially when he was working with the Coens and stuff, and like, and you can attest, anyone in film can attest, from extras to feature people, more featured above the line people, just like, it's like literally like the moniker of the show must go on. It's just like just getting it done. Like it almost seems like everything's impossible, from like a short 40-hour film festival thing to like a big Tarantino film.
Yeah,
But
totally. And I think like part of the trick is like mentally being like, okay, we're doing it in
Mhm.
February. Like now we at least know we've got like a little money set aside, and that is going to be our do or die to like make it happen, whether we end up with more money or not. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think that really helps mentally to be like,
Yeah.
this is when I'm going to do it, and now starts to feel like it makes sense and all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm saying positive vibes. I know you're gonna do it. And yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Without spoilers or anything, is the script like is it like not too like it shouldn't be like a big like a money pit or anything, right? It doesn't sound like it's like you probably could do it on the cheap if you had to.
Yeah, the goal is actually to shoot it on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which I actually won that phone this summer in another short film contest.
Wow.
I made a little horror short on it, and was just like so impressed with what it can do that I was like, okay, I've been wanting to direct a feature forever. I still haven't cracked doing it, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a feature on this phone because it's incredible. It's kind of mind blowing everything that it can do.
Mhm.
So, and I have a DP lined up who is like very into shooting on the phone, and then actually instantly bought one for himself after we made the short, because he enjoyed working on it so much. DP Scott Yulfelder, who's very talented, that I've worked with on a lot of projects, and so it was really invigorating to shoot that. Literally, we wrapped the day before the actors went on strike, which was very lucky because I did have a wonderful Sag-aftra star in that short named Sylvester Russell. And the short is called Dream Skin Mask. It's not on the internet yet, but I hope that it will be soon. We did do like a round of festival submissions, and so we're kind of waiting to see what happens with those before we put it up live on the internet. But it was just a blast to do it. We did it in 2 days. We spent $500 and we shot on the phone, and we were like, it's time to just make a feature happen. So Sunset will be shot on the iPhone.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a sequel.
Yeah.
It's almost like it almost sounds somewhat like the Cornholio series from Simon Pegg and all them, where they made those films together. They were like linked but not really related story-wise. So the second in your iPhone series, kind of, so to speak.
Yeah.
In a way, tech-wise, tech-wise. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to bring up Dreamskin Mask because I saw that, and like I mean, I feel like not a lot is publicly known about it, production-wise, but like I was kind of blown away by the poster, like, which is just like looks like packaging for a beauty skin mask. Oh, yeah, kudos. Like, it looks so much like a beauty skin mask product, like, placement, that I thought it was like an ad and not like part of your credits. When I was looking at it, I was like,
yeah, it's a great script that I worked on with Natalie Higdon, who I met on the internet, and she found me when she moved to LA and was like, I just want to know more female screenwriters, and we met,
awesome.
and then she eventually posted on Twitter that she'd written a short, and she was like, does anybody want to direct it? And I was like, hey, I know this contest going down right now, we should just enter it and see what happens. And then we won one of the phones to make it. So, and $500 to make it from this site called Decentralized Pictures. So many thanks to them for making us, like get off our butts and actually make the short. It was a blast. And so the short is about a woman who also enters a contest, a beauty contest, and she's a struggling actress, and she enters a contest to win like a TikTok style challenge, and if you win, you get this mask that'll just like make you look younger and better, and this and that, and all the things that the very scary TikTok ads promise. And and the mask definitely changes her life.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that available to watch or stream now, or just soon, or?
That's the one that we just did like a round of festivals. So as soon as we kind of see what happens happens, and if we get into any air we don't, we'll eventually put it up online for sure. But
cool.
Yeah, just take a beat to see if we get into any of those.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, it's super fun. So if anybody wants to follow my socials, just my name, Lindsay Stidham, and I definitely post about everything I'm working on. So a good way to keep up with how to see things as they slowly but surely get out in the world.
Okay. Oh yeah. So which one of those is like more of your like official to the public check you out site? Would you say like Insta or just?
Yeah, I definitely use Instagram the most. I still tweet a lot, or Zeet, or however whatever we're calling this platform now.
Yeah.
Still am using Elon's platform for better or worse. So probably both Instagram and Twitter, which I guess you go to Twitter and it's still called Twitter.
Yeah, I think someone. I feel like you told me like there's a way to not really hacking, like editing it where like you can just make it called Twitter still. I know I guess it's I feel like, I wouldn't bet $1 million, but I feel like it's called X officially, but you could alter the settings to make it just say Twitter on your thing. I feel like that's what's going on with it at this point.
Yeah, so I'm on both of those, and it's just my name, Lindsay Stidham. Yeah.
You also wrote Douchebag, which won multiple awards. Speaking of your awards, what can you tell us about that film?
I did. That was a long time ago now, but it definitely helped start my career. I actually made 3 movies with director Drake Doremus, who directed Douchebag. One of which costs like $40 on Amazon to buy, which is crazy.
Wow.
It's called Buy, and that one is for some reason is ridiculously expensive to buy. A DVD of it on Amazon, which is just wild. But I would say Douchebag probably was maybe our most successful. Went to Sundance, and it was like the mumblecore era of filmmaking. So that's another movie we made completely on a shoestring. Our shooting budget was $20,000, and then our post budget was about $20,000. So the whole movie really only cost about $40,000, which is crazy. And
that's the magic number, I guess, because 40,000, and now you can buy it for $40, right?
Yeah, it's a different one you can buy for $40. I don't even think you can buy Douchebag, unfortunately. I don't think it's out there as far as I know. Not right now. But every once in a while, Douchebag comes back around on streaming platforms. So maybe it will again. Who knows? But yeah, we shot. It was like the beginning of the digital revolution. So we shot on HD cameras. So it looks like not great. Like now that like the iPhone is in your pocket, that this is this crazy camera, and it can act like. It can kind of like mimic so many other cameras. It's just wild to me that we made it on a very heavy HD camera. But similarly, like we didn't really have any lights in like any scenes. It's like all natural light. It's like improv. It's run and gun, no permits. Very, very true to the mumblecore genre in that way. And then also true to the mumblecore genre, it is a mainly improvised film. So
cool.
Every single scene in the movie had jumping off dialogue and had kind of like a scene objective. We knew like what we wanted to achieve in each scene, and we had about a 50-page outline, so we really knew what the story was. But
how we got there was up to the artists. Wow.
Yeah, but when you improvise a movie, my biggest piece of advice is to budget in reshoots, because we did go back and reshoot 2 more times, because improvising a movie, even with the 50-page outline, you just end up being like, oh, I do need more story. I need more story, more explanation, or what have you to truly make it work. But because of that, I think the 2 performances by Ben York-Jones and Andrew Dickler are just really good. They're very naturalistic, and you never for a moment feel like these guys are acting. So I think that's where the magic was in that movie, for sure.
Oh, wow. High praise to them. Wow. Yes.
Yeah, they're excellent. They're excellent in it. The story is about 2 brothers who are estranged who come back together when the older brother is getting married, and they go on a quest to find the younger brother's like kindergarten to 5th grade girlfriend, and they go on a quest to find her in time for the wedding. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It is so crazy how technology just changed and stuff. Like, I remember like a long time ago when I don't remember if it was just a quote I read somewhere or if it was at an Oscar speech or something, but where Quentin Tarantino was talking about just making your film no matter what. You know, I mean, just make your movie, just make it, you know, kind of deal. I'm like, and now it's like easier than ever. I mean, I think when I heard that, I was like, oh, maybe I should get a, 4K camera or, get some sort of camcorder. And like, and now it's like you're saying with like an iPhone, it's like wild. It can do everything, and even an expensive Android phone could probably do it. And it's just so wild. Like, it's like Doc Brown said in 1955 when he saw like a Sony camcorder, portable television studio. It's kind of wild. It's like, yeah.
It really is that the new iPhone. There's one version that has 1 terabyte of storage, which is crazy.
Huh.
It does shoot in 4K, so it truly, iPhone I feel like always has wanted to be the forefront of cameras, and with this new phone, they have absolutely made themselves that. I feel like they're almost, well, they literally are. We won this iPhone because iPhone sponsored the contest, and they were inviting filmmakers to try out this new phone, particularly to shoot content. So I do think that's their goal, and I would imagine we won't be the only ones who are about to shoot a movie on this newer iPhone, because it is pretty mind-boggling what you can do with it, especially when you buy an app that allows you to kind of like hack the phone and truly control it like a camera. So
Wow. Yeah, I remember like going to the movies. Definitely before the strike and before COVID, I'm pretty sure. I went to the movies and I remember like one of their, kind of ads or commercials before it was, or one of the things one of the bumpers or whatever, mind you, they showed before it was, the winners of some film contest made from iPhone or something like that. And it was like, this film, the one, whatever award, and it was brought to you by, and it was, set in a movie theater or something like that. Was the theme of it too. But yeah, it's so wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's very cool that Apple and iPhone, I do think really want to support filmmakers and anybody out there who is, trying to guerrilla it or trying to do something on a lower budget. I would encourage to try to seek out their support. That's definitely what we're going to do to see if we can get some more support. We ideally want to shoot on 2 phones, like we'll just be able to move faster, and so we'll see what happens. But I love being a spokesperson for their product. So Apple or iPhone, if you're listening,
hit her up.
like,
Yeah.
Give me a call. I would love one more phone, and we're gonna go up there and make a great movie. So yeah.
It's wild. It's funny. Like, ironically enough, like all the like independent films and stuff I've done out here lately, like everyone has like the boom mics and like cameras, so to speak. Camera cameras and Red K or whatever, And it's just funny. It's funny if I go to LA and like everyone's just using phones, like, and like, yeah, I know this is a real HBO production or Max now or whatever, like, oh, but it's with a phone, okay, so a phone in like one of those stabilizer cages or something.
Soderbergh, Soderbergh has now made 3 movies on the iPhone. He's a huge proponent of them, and I believe one of those was for HBO. He loves it, so people are doing it for sure. I don't think you can tell everybody on it, and I don't think it's right for every project either. I think it is a particular look, and it lends itself well to certain projects and maybe less well to other projects. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm pondering the right resolution especially from the exact iPhone you're talking about. But like, there's sometimes you see films and it's almost like it almost seems too good in a weird way, like almost more real than reality in a weird way. Like, is this a film or a reality show? And like, oh, it's a film, you're watching. It's just like, huh.
Totally, yeah. I mean, you can't beat film. Only one thing looks like film still, and that's film. Even though I think we're getting damn close with
filters, right? We probably could.
Treatments you can do also when you're sing, like, and there's ways to get it to look pretty damn close, but I'm a film nerd, so I still love seeing movies shot on film, of course. So, yeah.
Huh. That is crazy. Huh. Wow. And so do you think you're iPhoned up for life? I mean, before you get officially sponsored by them and have to be. But I mean, like, or do you think you're bouncing back from like using film and using the iPhone, or do you think you've fallen so in love with this tech that?
Well, I mean, I am young enough to say that I've never even had an opportunity to shoot on film. I went to film school during the digital revolution, where our main resource was HD cameras that are much lower resolution than what is available now, for sure. We were still making stuff on mini DV when I was in film school, but because I feel like I was born into this era of the beginning of the digital revolution, and also because film is unbelievably expensive, and if you want to make something, you're going to be, your budget is probably going to go elsewhere to be able to pay people to be on your set as opposed to shoot on film, right? So I'd love to shoot on film. I'd love to make a studio movie, but right now the plan in general is to kind of write for the studios and hopefully sell a couple for the studios, and then work my way up. Directing probably is going to take a couple non-studio films to let a studio have me direct something. So in the meantime, I'm happy to shoot on whatever medium allows us to make the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of just a blessing that like there's so many avenues artists can use though, tech-wise. It's not like half a generation before us where people would have to like rent a camera or like fighting over the camera like at a college and stuff. It's wild.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. I mean, when I was in film school, same thing. Like, we essentially had HD cameras that kind of looked like news cameras that, and there were only like, I think 6 of them for 150 of us trying to make movies. So, it's incredible that we all essentially have the tools to make a movie in our pocket right now. It's just,
I wonder how long, I mean, or maybe it's already happened in a way, until like, someone's filming something and then like, back in the day, like you'd run out of film. So maybe, like, you've probably been there where like you run out of battery power or something like that on a film, on a camera or what have you. And then like just some crew person or anyone have an iPhone or a phone at least this level so we could finish the day? And it's like, wow, they stepped in and finished the rest of this Brad Pitt picture that day with this iPhone or that, Android level, whatever phone. It's just,
Yeah, that's
incredible.
a good point. You definitely need a solar charger with you if you're going to be out in the field, because
good tip.
We did notice that the new iPhone Pro is it eats battery really fast, and that's another reason to maybe have the backup phone as well. Yeah, that's another reason why we want that second phone.
Oh, like a phone that'll be maybe straight up just for filming. There's like no other apps on it virtually, or.
That I've kept the other phone exactly like that. It's not my phone. I don't receive calls on it. I'm literally keeping it pristine and keeping the hard drive clear so that I can go make this movie. So yeah.
Isn't that wild? That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. I just saw recently I saw Babylon. Did you ever see that? With Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt. Yeah, remember where the guy like goes to town, he's waiting half the day to get a camera to bring back in the dusty area for the. Wow.
Yes, I loved every frame of that movie. I mean,
I can't believe it.
I'm about to make a movie about Los Angeles, so I love every movie about Los Angeles and the business and getting to spot locations where they shot things. And I don't, to be honest, I don't think our town gets glorified enough in film. So I always am so excited to see movies about LA. Yeah, I thought it was gorgeous. I thought the movie was fantastic. I don't know why people were not enamored with it as I was.
I literally watched it. I want to say Prime somewhere. I watched it and I'm like, didn't watch it? I'm like, this should be at least decent with these people. And I know it didn't do well. I'm like, push play. And I'm watching. I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is like a Best Picture level. This is like amazing, and let alone it's like kind of Oscar bait as well. It's like a film about Hollywood. Like, what the hell? This should be like most of the movies should be featured in the featurettes during the Oscars. Just about celebrating film. It was really wild to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah.
Well, speaking of great films, one of your biggest films was Spooner, which you wrote, and it starred Mathew Lillard, Shea Wigham, Christopher McDonald. I mean, the list went on and on and on, including you. You know.
Yes, I have a very small cameo, but yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
like, what was the set like with like all that vast talent on set, especially with your film,
Yeah.
your
Well,
baby, so to speak, right? So.
it was fantastic. We wrote that movie to a location that we knew we had. We knew we had access to a car dealership, so it was another one of those things where we're like, we got to make a movie, and because we knew we had a car dealership, that's why the story of Spooner centers around a car dealership, because we had a free location. So the story of Spooner is about a guy who's turning 40, who still lives at home with his mom and dad, and he works at a car dealership, and he is not a very good car salesman. And he meets this girl in his very small town whose car breaks down, who's played by the lovely Nora Zehetner, and he falls for her, and she's stuck there while they have to get a part for her car. She drives like an old Volvo. So it was just a movie again where we were like, we have an old Volvo, we have a car dealership. And I wrote that in much younger years where I think I had zero cynicism still. And it's also just a very sweet romantic comedy. And I think that's what got the talent involved in that, like, there's a level of like purity to the romantic comediness of it that I think appealed to people. And I think caught Matt Lillard at a time where he was trying to play some other roles that he hadn't really gotten a chance to play, and it's not every day that he gets to be a romantic lead, and he's also just a fantastic, lovely person, and so
Cool.
that was a lovely place to be. It was definitely hard because it was like 12, 13, 14-hour days, shot the movie in 18 days, but also everybody's attitude was fantastic.
Oh, awesome. Oh, that's so special and great.
Yeah, it was fun. I learned. I feel like that was my second film school. I made that movie right after I graduated, and it taught me a lot.
That's awesome. Huh. And now you're just getting back to work and everything too. With like the historic WGA Sag-aftra strike ending, like what, a week ago from this when we were filming this broadcast. But and you were on the front lines picketing hardcore. I saw a lot of your posts. Is there like anything, for those that aren't in the union or even LA based, unable to even drive by and honk support? Is there anything that you wish the media reported or the general public knew about the strike that they might not know?
Well, I would say the SAG strike is technically not over because the deal has not been ratified.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, so the SAG-afters have approximately 3 more weeks to study the deal. It does sound like it's going to pass. I know that overall they have probably the biggest historic gains of all the unions that were on strike, and the WGA paved the way, but the SAG-after wages are greater, which is incredible, and incredible that I think that they did get the AI protections that they got, but there's definitely a large amount of hesitation still on the AI side, and I would say, to me, even if you are not in the business at all and you don't care about the business, I'd still invite people to try to read the SAG contracts, because I think there's a lot of points that just need to be a larger conversation in protecting everyone's privacy as AI becomes more and more integrated into our lives. And I hope that the government is studying this deal and that they're starting to think about ramifications of the levels that we're letting AI into our lives, because I think it does have possible dangerous consequences for everyone. So
there's just so much dangerous stuff you can't even, we don't even know about. You just see in a TikTok, I've seen where it seems like Jenna Ortega and Tom Cruise are doing backflips and dancing, and you would swear it's them, except for what they're doing, and that this would be news or something.
Totally. I think it just feels very scary that we're on the cusp of anyone being able to control their likeness in any sense of the word. That like, okay, you post a photo on Instagram and then you're a private person. You never plan to be an actor, but then somehow, some way, some corporation liked your photo or the way you look or thought that you were like the perfect match for their brand, and then you end up advertising something bizarre, like, I don't know, tomato soup or something, and you and you in another country, and then somebody sends it to you and they're like, hey, you're in this commercial, and you're like, that's absolutely not me.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the strike can prevent that. I mean, wow, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just, I mean, like wow, I mean, just like, it's scary to ponder at all, but you almost have to. I mean, from like being framed for murder or robberies to like, imagine being like a student in high school or middle school and being like, you're being framed for doing just stuff that's embarrassing and just, oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, yeah.
Very wild, yeah. So I hope that like people are truly studying this agreement to start to be prepared for what's coming. But simultaneously, I think that all my friends who are in SAG like have held so strong, and everybody does deserve to get back to work. And there are some historic things that they did get in this deal that absolutely should be celebrated. And then
increased wages, right? That I feel like, are those locked in? The way, yeah.
Yes, and then some AI protections and some ways to negotiate and protect yourself if some things seem not correct, and then SAG gets to help negotiate on your behalf. So all those things are, all those are great, but simultaneously I feel like this is a great way to try to be prepared for the next time around in 3 years where the deal is up again, and we will have probably greater for AI ramifications then too. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, I thought the strike was over. Wow, it's crazy. But like, so it sounds like you may have the answer or an answer, more of an answer, but like, because I was confused when I was looking over what I thought was the strike being over, but like, I knew the raises, but I wasn't exactly sure what they meant by like, it was like, what do they call it? Like informed consent and compensation, maybe? Or something like that, like, for AI?
Yeah, I'm not in SAG, and I am just trying to keep up with my own reading as much as I can and read, read Hollywood Reporter and read Justine Bateman, but also not be 100% swayed just by one person's opinion and hear as many people's opinions as possible. So I can't speak exactly to what the informed consent language is in the deal right now, but I just know that everybody needs to take their time and read the agreement and kind of determine for themselves if now is the time to keep fighting for AI protections or if the time is 3 years from now when the deal's up again. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I know it went on for a long time, and like, and I thought it was over, but I mean, but I know it's like we're playing chess, not checkers, I mean, that's what we gotta be, and like, so I guess I'm glad they're still going over it. I thought it was going over, and I thought it was still wise that they took so long just to like, make sure it was all groovy. But like I know one actor friend that I don't know if he wants to be named, but like he was on like a lot of stuff, like including like a really well-known Netflix series that he had to get like a day job like delivering packages and stuff, and I think he's still doing it to this day currently, but like, so it's like a war. We have to like make sure we're treading lightly and making sure that we make the right decisions, because I mean, like, that's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, all these decisions are to help protect this business to still be a business where you can make a living. And I just think everybody I know who was a captain and who was out there way more days than I was, because I eventually had to go back to teaching. So, so I just think everybody who has fought incredibly hard to make sure that at least for the next few years, this is still a business where you can earn an okay living. So, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people who are in Hollywood or act at all, like, just want to say, oh, yeah, Hollywood, they're rich, must be nice and stuff. But it's like, well, no, people are really struggling and trying to make ends meet. I mean, like, people, like one of the things we fought for, like, is, and I'm still not sure, you probably have more information on that, but, like, how the streaming financials works, it's just crazy that people would barely get like pennies on the dollar, Like if you're watching Netflix and you have that streaming service just for Breaking Bad or Cobra Kai or what have you, that like people aren't getting that money back. You know, it's like it's so insane to me. Like if you just have Peacock or Hulu only to watch a certain show before you go to bed, or a movie, or you go to one, you're like, I'm gonna cancel it, but then oh, they have this new series, I'll watch it before I go. That people aren't like, compensated correctly, for keeping like
Yeah,
these
I mean
big tentpole companies and services afloat.
That's a huge win for both the WGA and SAG that
Mm.
there is now built-in language in both agreements that if you are working on a show that has made I don't know if there's like a financial threshold or a viewership threshold, and they're going to have to start releasing also viewership numbers, which I think is another huge win. They're going to have to release it back in WGA. So if you reach a certain threshold, I believe, of viewership, then you have new steps of built-in compensation to be rewarded for a successful show, much like residuals on network television. So that was an absolute huge win for both unions, and a necessary one. So that is fantastic news.
Yeah, it's shocking that those numbers aren't just readily available. Wow. The fact that they would even, it just seems like it should be an obvious thing to be able to check those ratings, so to speak. Huh.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, but now the numbers will be at the very least available to the unions, so it's very good news.
On my tech gave me a card earlier, like kind of right before we started, and I hope I'm not getting this wrong, but I was pleasantly surprised to learn that your love of tarot card reading, and that it's connected to your work, your writing workshop.
You did some deep diving. Yeah. I mean, I read very casually. I was reading on some live streams for my friend Tommy Bechtold that I think we're maybe eventually going to get back to those live streams, but it was very fun, and a few people on the live streams told me I was right on my reads, which made me really proud because I'm definitely like a casual hobbyist. But I did just design a course for this Scribble community space in Highland Park, Los Angeles, that if you want to come take it, this is the last course I'm teaching of the year, and I don't have time to teach to the general public very often because I'm so busy with my college classes, so I'm really excited to be able to open this up to anybody who wants to come, and it's also to help promote and build this lovely community space, which has been built to give people a accessible access to mental health care and accessible access to community activities in Highland Park, Los Angeles, which is very exciting. Again, it's called the Scribble Community, but I did design this course to integrate tarot into some writing exercises, and I'm really excited about it. So I think it's like a fun, out-of-the-box way to brainstorm and to dig into character and world building and all that stuff. So it'll be a combo of stuff that I've learned from teaching screenwriting for many years, as well as my nerdy digging into tarot. So I can't wait, and it starts the week after Thanksgiving, and I might eventually record a course like this and offer it online, but for now it is only offered in Highland Park, LA, $15 a class, very accessible. So if there's anybody out there listening that is in Highland Park and wants to come join us for the last 3 weeks of the year before we dig into Christmas time and holiday time, come join us.
Very cool. Oh, I love that. I'm sure you'll get a lot of hits on that for sure. Huh. Very cool. Well, Lindsay, I've taken enough of your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for asking me. It was super fun to talk about some very old projects and a few new ones. So thanks for asking. Yeah.
If you ever need anyone from Portland with a vaudevillian mustache and Portland era beard, that can be any era beard, really. Call my way.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it'd be worth it coming to LA, but we are gonna throw a house party for Sunset where we need people to come dance, and you'd be highly visible in the short. So I'll keep you updated if you wanted to come take a little trip. Yeah,
I'll see my availability for sure. I'd be honored.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm so glad to make a new internet friend, and thanks again for listening.
Oh, for sure. And as you said, as you noted with the iPhone and all that, I feel like I should be getting money from that too now. Like, text real. So yeah. Our new friend, cool. Lindsay Stidham. Thanks again so much, Lindsay.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for asking Yeah.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Have a great night.
Yeah, let me know when you post it, and I'll be sure to post it around too. And let me know when you come to LA, and we'll get coffee.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I am super down. You already
Yeah,
know.
and I'm being serious. We need a lot of people for this like little house party, and we're like genuinely gonna throw a party. And there's a dance if you're like down to learn a dance sequence. And
Yeah.
we already have a choreographer lined up, so it's gonna be really fun.
I'm excited. Well, hit me up for sure.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated for like when we book the actual shoot weekend, but it's gonna be fun.
Oh, awesome. now,
Yeah,
now I'm getting
cool,
excited.
cool, cool. Well, have a great evening, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, you too. Night, Lindsay.
Thanks. Bye.
And that was award-winning Lindsay Stidham. Look up her workshop, look up her work, and look her up in the future, including Welcome to the Clam Bake, which I found online and I was cracking up last night too. And well, folks, after a brief commercial, get ready for Best Picture award-winning makeup artist DC Hitt on a full-size episode here, That Kev One Show.
That Kev One Show is brought to you in part by T-Mobile, the Uncarrier.
Well, friends, my next guest is a wizard of movie makeup effects, and seeing is believing. Check out his work online with Feet of Death, Born of Myth, and most recently with the winner of Best Effects, Best Screenplay, and Best Picture at Gignall Fest. Hope I'm saying that right. For the film The Oregon Trail of Blood. Please welcome makeup artist extraordinaire, DC Hitt. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going today?
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. It's great having an artist such as yourself, such high regard on the show. A lot of people, if they look at your work under DC Hitt, oh my lord, like the makeup effects are just astounding. I saw you as Spike from Buffy. It was like, TV accurate. I mean, like, you could have just walked on set.
Yeah, Buffy is definitely one of the things. It's not the thing that got me into special effects, but it's definitely one of my secondary. Like Buffy just was always kind of a fun thing for me. So.
Oh yeah, I grew up on Buffy. I totally concur on that. You were Spike for Halloween. It looked like, right? Was that what I was seeing?
Yep. That was for they set up a bar over in Portland to make it look like the Bronze from the TV show.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So it was pretty great. Although me and my girlfriend, we were the only real Buffy costumes there. There were a couple other people, but I was the only Spike. She went as Dark Willow.
Whoa, okay, awesome. Yeah, I saw her. Oh, yeah, I didn't know if she was Drew or... Wow. It's kind of shocking that there were any other Buffy heads to that level. I mean, it makes sense they wouldn't be, masterful effects and as TV accurate as you were, but just...
people that everyone wanted a picture with Spike because I was the only Spike, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you were the belle of the ball.
Yep.
And as I said, your latest film was it won multiple awards, including Best Effects, which is all you, right? So what can you tell us about the effects you used and exactly what the premise of The Oregon Trail of Blood is?
Yeah, so that was a really fun film that I did with Eric Demarath and Man vs. Film. Yeah, super fun. It was basically people that had died on the Oregon Trail come back to, kind of exact their revenge to anybody that found their grave, I believe.
Oh,
and yeah, lots of fun. Like, so the dad is very zombie-esque. The boy, we did like a ripped-off jaw kind of a look. There's a great blood effect where somebody gets it in the neck with a nail on a board, and
wow.
Yeah, super fun.
Oh, that is incredible. Jeez. Yeah, my team. I did Gignall Fest twice, and my team also won 3 awards, including Best Picture. It was the 13th annual one. Yeah, it's like a trip, right? It was at the Clinton this year as well, right? The Clinton Street Theater.
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, and when you went, I didn't know when I went, and for those of you who don't know out there, somebody talking to people, all kinds of people, it's a 3-day fest where you have to get your film done pretty much within 24 hours because you get a premise, a prop that has to be in it. So it really shows the mettle of a team and everything. I was in such a hurry and so sleep deprived when I went that night that I didn't even know it was the night of the awards. Did you know? Were you prepared for that night or no?
Oh no.
Yeah, I just knew it was premiering that night. So I was like, what? And yeah, so it was quite a trip.
It's such a cool contest, though. It really sharpens your tool, no matter what part of the filmmaking process you are. Whenever you're working on a team, it really sharpens your mental tools. Just being, having to do it in that time frame under those conditions, makes you a much better. Whatever you do in that industry, makes you a much better person at what you were doing.
Yeah, last week's guest, Winnie McCollum, who directed Fuzzy Head, that won at Slamdance, bigger budget, Hollywood, everything, so to speak. But we talked about how, like, war is film, and, like, you never really get out of that when you're making movies. Like, it's always kind of like you're always in a rush. It's really not as glamorous as people think. So I kind of feel like, and I'm sure you probably agree with this, and I'm guessing, I'll ask you that like these 48-hour and 72-hour film festivals are really maybe the best training in a weird way to make any kind of film, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Well, because it forces you along, just because I've been on so many sets where you have to do just so many takes, and you're not really, it doesn't feel like you're doing it for a particular reason. It's like, let's just do another one and do another one. Well, when there's no time, it's like, all right, we got 2 of them. That's good enough. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just being under that kind of stress, it just, it gives you a sharper eye, for sure, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, it's, definitely the show must go on mentality. And before we move on from Gringo Fest, and I love Julia and Dylan Hillerman, the hosts of it. And I heard Uncle Erie was back this year. Is that right?
Well, I haven't seen him in a long time. I remember him years ago being all over the place.
Yeah, he's kind of like. What shape did the physical awards take this year? Because I remember the year that we went, they were all unique. Like, we had like a cauldron, there was like a skull with a feather that I still have on my mantle. Were they like unique shaped awards this year, or were they plaques, or what?
I didn't actually attend
Oh,
the
you
awards.
didn't?
I'm working at the Haunted House all month.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it did happen. Yeah, it's always in October. Okay. Hell yeah. And that's the Scaregrounds. I just saw pictures of that online, which is insanely impressive.
Yeah, the Oaks Park Haunted House. They used to be out there at the Clark County Fairgrounds, and they moved into Oaks Park, and they've been doing super good at Oaks Park. Just because you have all the rides and the whole thing there, and then Haunted House right there. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah. Wow. What were some of the most challenging aspects of like working in like like a public project like that? With different people and all that, and like the different.
Right. Well, it's always changing cast. You have your diehards, but you always have new people coming in. Like people kind of going out and stuff like that, and re-establishing who does what, just figuring out the new hierarchy, and then just working together to put on a great show.
I mean, it was really impressive. All the different face makeup and everything. I saw a werewolf, and just like it looked like it was like a living horror movie. Like, it wasn't just some rig type thing.
It was a lot of fun. They had 3 haunts this last year. Generally, they run about 3 haunts. There's Silver Scream. We always do kind of a Silver Scream, all the movie monsters, Freddy and Jason, the Nun, the things you kind of expect to see. The Complex, which is like mutants and zombies and stuff.
Wow.
And, just a lot of fun.
Huh. That's awesome. And so are you there all night, or do you just kind of set it up and you're there for like half of it, doing the makeup and you have to do touch-ups? The what?
So I sell like movie posters and stuff, like old school, like Army of Darkness, Big Trouble in Little China, all the greats. And so I sell movie posters and stuff, and so I was allowed to vend this year. So I did makeup, and then after I did makeup, I went and sold classic horror movie posters.
Oh wow, very cool. Did you make a killing or?
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. The Haunted House is a great place for people that love that era of horror. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially a horror convention, I guess, right? Kind of, in a way. Yeah. Horror world. Yeah.
But it's always a fun time, and it's definitely one of the best haunts I've ever worked for. I've been doing makeup for about 20 years, and so I've worked for pretty much every haunt in town. Ones that are no longer here, and some that are. But definitely, they're like one of the best groups I've ever worked for. Super above board, great people. Yeah.
Man, I did one years ago. I'm trying to remember where it was. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and it was a corn maze. You probably didn't do that one, I don't think, because the makeup wasn't like super top tier. It was good, but it wasn't like
No, I don't think I've ever done a maze. I used to do like Screamland, Scream at the Beach. I've done a year over at the Fear. Yeah. Never worked for Fright Town.
Okay.
I think that's the only one.
Very cool. And you studied at Tom Savini's Special Makeup and Effects. Were you like practicing, kind of learning DIY style before that, or was the bulk of your training from there?
The origin, I guess, of all that is originally I kind of wanted to be a stuntman. I had done martial arts for a long time.
Oh,
and
very
I was,
cool.
Stunt work would be great.
Yeah.
I did like 12 years of, about 8 years of kung fu, and then the rest of it was karate.
Whoa. What level? What belt are you?
Black belt in karate and brown sash in kung fu, but I don't train nearly as much as I probably should.
Oh, that's so cool. I stopped studying officially at a yellow belt with Taekwondo. My parents let me, but I mean, I still do like the stretches and everything to this day, and I remember everything I learned, and so, you see stuff in movies and you watch Cobra Kai or whatever, and like you kind of like, oh yeah, you kind of include that in your training yourself, But wow, you're an actual black belt. That's amazing. So, do you train a little bit? You said you don't train as much as you should, but do you train like every day? Does that?
Probably a few times a month, in all honesty, and not very hard. I am 43, so.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You don't look it, but okay. Yeah. So does the karate and the kata, does it kind of stay with you on the daily, even though you don't study it, or no?
Yeah. What you spend, I forget exactly the thing. I know it's a psychological thing, but basically once you've spent about 10,000 hours or 5-ish years doing something, it's locked in. You might, those skills might rust a little bit, but you'll never truly lose them.
Yeah. Wow. Another interesting fact. Wow. Huh. You're also a former state licensed caregiver. Did that inspire any of your art, be it through makeup or writing, or no?
Not usually. I was basically just helping out my girlfriend, take care of her mom and stuff so she could still be at home and stuff. And did that for about 6 years, but it was very nice because it was basically, it was hard being on call 24/7 because that's pretty much what me and my girl were, on call 24/7.
Yeah.
But it afforded me basically a second income to help me pay for like makeup effects and, doing my like Born of Myth and things like that.
Okay. And that's your current love too, the Dark Willow, right? That you're is that where you guys met or no?
Oh, me and her? No, we met on OkCupid, weirdly enough. Yep, we've been together 7 years.
Oh wow, congrats! It's a rarity nowadays,
It really is. It really is. We've just both kind of like we're older and wiser now, and so all the small petty things that a lot of other people seem to fight about tooth and nail, we just kind of like,
Yeah. It's probably really great to like be with a partner that long, and the world just keeps changing so fast, faster and faster that technology and everything, just the way people are socially and everything, it's You guys are probably stronger now than if you would have met now, I bet,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh. Huh. Is she in the industry at all as well, or no? I mean, she appreciates the makeup, obviously, being Dark Willow.
She works for the state, doing the aging and disability, like helping out older folks and hooking them up with care and stuff.
Okay, wow. Very admirable. That's awesome.
So, but it's kind of funny because her office, ipso facto, kind of her office, we have a 3-car garage, and so she kind of has one little corner, and then the rest of it is my shop. So when I'm making like heads that blow apart and things like that, she's like on her computer helping people.
Oh my! Saving lives while you're like destroying like people's physical bodies fictionally, mind you. Wow, that's insane. That's wild. Huh. Well, speaking of that, with like the blood wounds and the aging makeup, the vampire makeup we talked about, and more, I mean, you're definitely like a creator of worlds, but since you work in the practical realm, I mean, there's like a limit, like with budget, Is there like any kind of idea or effect or project you had in mind or have in mind that you'd love to do if you had like unlimited resources?
Oh man, that is such a hard question, but a good question. Yeah, I would love to do some animatronic stuff. Right now I have two projects in the chamber. Born of Myth is kind of my opening thing, and then I have The Wolf and the Raven, which is basically about a very old werewolf and a prostitute essentially joining forces. and I would love to do a practical, like really good, like animatronic werewolf. I, in principle, know how to do the animatronics. I just have never really had the budget or money to try it. And so I would love to do something like that and make a really impressive practical werewolf.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Totally. Is there a certain movie, I'm trying to rack my brain, that did a really good animatronic werewolf?
There's a couple of them. Actually, strangely enough, The Howling. It still really holds up. It's a great old 80s
classic,
movie, and
yeah.
it still honestly really holds up as a good animatronic werewolf. I believe there's also a movie called Bad Moon, and that's a pretty damn decent werewolf as well.
Like, I remember An American Werewolf in London, and the effects being so amazing. I just don't remember if it's animatronical. That was all practical effects, really, right?
Yeah,
wasn't it? Like, maybe
practical stuff. Like, I remember watching the behind the scenes on that. It's so interesting. Like, they built a whole fake floor so that way they could have his legs bent backwards, like, you know, like a dog's leg.
Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot that. I saw stills of that, or I might have saw the documentary. Yeah.
Super amazing. That's a great special effects too, by the way. Just like making a fake floor just to have, like, you know, a torso crawling around or whatever you need to do. The fake floor trick is a very good trick.
Yeah, isn't that funny with such a big budget and, like, it seems like such a, for lack of a better term, almost like a ghetto thing to do, but no, it's the best way. It's physical, boom, you know, it's like, yeah.
It really is. It reminds me of a quick Savini story. So when you went to Savini school, you got 2 days of orientation with Tom, which was really cool. Just him telling you stories and just kind of loosely telling you about the industry and his experience. And he brought in all kinds of props to share and just told us stories and stuff. And he told us a great story. Oh, man. So the original, the old Day of the Dead, the one where they're in the military installation.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the captain, the bad guy captain, he gets drug out of an elevator by a bunch of zombies and gets ripped apart.
Oh my god.
What they had done is they built a fake floor, you know, for this guy. And so they had the zombies just essentially surround him and like rip his top half and lower half away from each other, you know, because he's just standing there in the floor.
Yeah.
Well, what they had done is they got all this pig guts and all these real guts and stuff, because at the time that's kind of what you did.
Yeah.
And so they put all this pig guts and all this stuff, and then they went and shot somewhere else a few hours away for like a week, and then they came back. Well, no one had told them there was a power outage, and the fridge holding the guts was turned off.
Oh, yeah.
So the guts went rotten, like bad rotten.
Huh.
And so that's all they had to use, though. They didn't have time to get any other guts, and they had to get this scene of this guy getting ripped apart. And so if you watch the movie carefully, you can see the zombies throwing up and gagging.
Shut up, really?
The putrid pig guts.
Wow. Jeez. Wow. I mean, I know we just ended the actors strike, but man, those extras probably wanted to go on strike for that, because that's wild. Throwing it up.
Oh, man. Like, it's hilarious. Like, there's a couple of shots, like, I've seen some still photos of them putting, like, an oxygen mask on the guy, like, in between scenes, because, like, the reek is so bad.
Wow, I had no idea. That's incredible. Jeez.
I love that kind of stuff. I love little set stories and things like that.
Yeah, it's like war as hell. I mean, look at that. That's like probably worse than anything you or I've done on a 40-hour film festival. That's a giant budget film. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean? War. Yeah, film is war. Jeez. Man. Have you ever dealt with, I mean, nothing as gross as that, but like, with all your complex movie making stuff, have you ever been asked to do like a virtually impossible task, or what's like the most difficult thing to get done? Like maybe where a director or someone's
in general about being a makeup person is it's hard to really peg down what you do, because people kind of loosely know, okay, you can fabricate stuff, you can kind of do prosthetics, you can kind of do blood. Like makeup person is a big umbrella term, kind of. And so a lot of times I show up on set, or when I'm talking to somebody about a movie, film, or project, they kind of expect that I just have a magic box that I can just make things happen.
Yeah.
Those things take time, and those things take money, and yeah. So, but over 20 years of kind of learning that lesson, I've gotten very good at pulling things out of my butt at the last minute and making it work.
Huh.
But yeah, there's like, actually just a couple months ago, a guy was like, so hey, I've got like $100 basically. Can I make like a whole body explode?
Oh my god.
So,
Really? Not
I
really.
mean, I guess I could do $100 version of that, but it's not going to look as good as the $500 version,
Yeah.
say.
What he really wants? Yeah. Huh.
But that's all part of the thing of being a makeup person or being kind of the fabricator, set guy, is figuring those kind of things out, being a creative problem solver. That's probably my favorite thing about the whole deal is just like, hey, we need this guy's head to come off in a certain way, and then I've got to retro figure that out.
Huh. Yeah, I sat in a meeting once. What project was it? Where they wanted someone to like cry blood, and they're like, "Oh yeah, so there could be you put something in his eye or for blood, right?" And the guy was like, the makeup artist was like, "Well, no, there's nothing we can put in his eye because that's serious. I can make it where there's something in the corner, and we could time it where like it comes down and it looks like he's crying. You have to add something digitally to the inside of the eye, but." Yeah, it's just funny what people just think that, they imagine it, they think you just do it, Well, no, it's a physical thing. It's, this or that, but wow. Huh.
Or just little things too, just stuff that people don't think about. It's like, oh, hey, we have this demon and they have to wear these contacts. Well, then you have a person that's never worn contacts, doesn't wear glasses, and has never had a contact squished into their eye. And so then for the first time you're putting contacts in somebody, and that's not going to go well. So just a lot of little things.
Yeah. Huh. What happened with the body explosion moment? Did you just turn that roll down, or you just couldn't do it, or what was the outcome of
Ended
that?
up just kind of evolving like so many things do. I get a lot of offers, or I talk to a lot of people about stuff, and only about 50% actually materialize into anything. A lot of them are just kind of people sort of testing the waters or seeing how much something would cost, or maybe measuring me against somebody else as far as like how much I would charge.
Huh. You're kind of like not that they're not creative, but you're kind of like a creative contractor in a way, because all these people probably want to envision like, oh, I want a hot tub. You can just build it, right? Then I'll pay you, and you can just pull a deck out of your ass, right? Like, no, I need money for this, these blood pumps, this what have you. Yeah. Huh.
But that's the fun of working on budgets, and it forces you to be creative. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Wow. Yeah. Huh. What are your next projects coming out? Anything cool in the pipeline?
Well, actually, I'm finally on a break because I had Feet of Death recently, and then during the Halloween season, I did the Guggenheim Fest, and the Halloween season, basically 4 days of each week, all of October, I was working like 15 or 16-hour days.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on a little bit of a break for a while.
So the WGA and Sag-aftra strike didn't affect you at all, right? You were kind of survived that bubble around it.
Hugely, yeah, just because the October season's kind of my earning season.
Yeah.
Usually I do a couple people's like custom makeups and things like that, but I really advertise this year. But usually I get a couple of just random asks.
Huh. Man. And you talked about Born of Myth. That's one that you wrote and created yourself, right?
Yeah. So that's like the first script. I love writing. I wrote in college when I first went to college in my 20s, just trying to figure out what I was going to do. And so I've always just kind of written, and I always write, and I've never had the thought to really create anything. I'm always kind of I wouldn't say financially strapped, but always just trying to kind of just make bills, get by, that kind of a thing. I really want to take some time and start making the things that I've been writing. So I wrote that about 3 years ago, actually. And so it's kind of evolved a bit since then. And then we produced kind of a proof of concept, 15-minute short. And I have 2 other episodes planned after that.
Ooh, okay. So you envision, so Born of Myth you envision it as like a full series or multi-season show?
I'm going to do a 3-episode arc, and then just see where the ground lays. Because I talked to my friends. I have 2 friends that are, one was the director, and he's kind of a co-producer, and I have another co-producer. And we're all kind of trying to come together on this, and going to shop it around to a couple festivals, locally and further. And then, just try to see what we can do with it. And I would love to see it as an episodic, but I could totally do it as a feature.
Very cool. Cool. So options, yeah.
My love of Buffy, our love of Buffy. And it's very much set up as an episodic kind of, not necessarily a monster of the week, but very close in structure and formula.
Yeah, we kind of live in a magical time now with streaming and everything, where like you can kind of write the stories that you want. You know what I mean? Like I,
There's so many niches now. There's like
yeah.
a niche for everything, like it's just crazy how much content there is. I end up watching a lot of the recap videos
Mm-hmm.
just because I really don't have time to watch all the dang shows, like the little recaps where it's like, whole season in 27 minutes. It's like, well,
Oh, you watch that instead of the actual thing. Like you don't watch
yeah,
that. Wow. No, I hear you.
jump
I
on
mean,
it.
I understand the logic, but wow, it's pretty wild still, huh?
Like I did that for Gen V or whatever because I watched like the first 3 episodes and then I've just been busy and everything else.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, I saw that. It was good. I mean, my vote is it holds up. So if you have time to watch it all, or all the recaps, I guess yeah. There weren't that many episodes. I want to say maybe 8 episodes, or the season's wrapped though, and I know I got approved for another season, so you have more to look forward to.
Been waiting for the boys forever. Like,
Yeah,
oh
when does that
man,
come out? Is it next month or later this month or?
I'm not sure. They pushed it back so many dang times.
Oh yeah, no spoilers, but yeah, you should be really excited for it after Gen V. Or wait, are you caught up information-wise? I guess I'll say with Gen V or.
Yep.
Oh okay. See. Oh yeah. Well, I guess I won't spoil it for the viewers either, since even though
Oh,
I don't have to worry about you.
yeah, I listen to my podcasts and things like that at work, so I listen to the recaps at work just to kind of like catch up on everything.
Yeah, speaking of niches, like I've almost toyed with like, doing like some what do you call them, reaction videos to episodic shows or something like that. But I was thinking like, what show? Because I watch a couple of those too. Like, I watched the Smallville recap podcast with Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, and I was like, wow, what show? And I was thinking of a couple of niche like sci-fi shows from like my childhood that no one's done. I'm like, man, maybe, but I gotta look up the rules of. I think like you can have like what 30 minutes of like footage from the show as long as you're recapping it or something, or
Oh yeah, absolutely.
something like that. Yeah. So, did you ever watch that show Viper? That show Viper. I want to do a recap show of.
Oh, totally. Do you remember? My thing is, remember Captain Power?
Yeah, I had the toys. I had a couple of the toys. Yeah.
Oh man, how crazy!
Not Power Extreme. That was Centurions, but Power. No, did he say Power Extreme? He said something similar to that when he powered up. When he transferred.
I just remember his suit. I had all the toys and stuff,
Yeah,
and I
the
had
cool
like
visor, and there was the flying man. Yeah.
Man,
Was it? What was the villain? Something Dread, right? Lord Dread?
yeah, they had like 4 of them. You were trying to fight some guy from the future or something like that.
Yeah.
I just remember having like the 4-video set. I'm not sure if they made any more though.
I'm totally gonna look that up later. Like I might watch it all on YouTube or wherever I can find it. Yeah, totally.
It was the golden age of weird stuff.
I mean,
like,
I really am curious to see if anyone famous came from it. You know what I mean? Or if they all like, oh, okay. If I'm like, oh wow, this was that guy. Oh.
I remember feeling so cheated though when you find out like shooting your little laser at the TV wasn't actually doing anything.
Oh well, yeah, it makes sense that it wouldn't. Yeah, I was about to say it didn't. I'm like, oh yeah, duh, of course not. Yeah, with the VHS tape, right? That we had.
Oh yeah, I mean it's almost like finding out Santa's not real. It's like, what?
My god, that's funny. Because I never had that. I had Captain Power, the figure. I don't think I had I had the flying guy. I had most of them, I feel like, but I didn't have the VHS thing set up for it. So it just was like a playthrough, I guess, obviously, and.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
It was really like watching an episode of a show, but then there's like a couple little snippets that made you feel like you were in the show.
Yeah.
And then there's a little light on the thing that would cast a little light, and you're thinking, oh, okay, hey, I'm doing something here.
Oh, okay. And does it say like the instructions say like fire now, and you gives you enough time that you easily could obviously fire, so it thinks you think, wow. Oh my god, I'm totally gonna go down the rabbit hole of that now. I hope we're not boring a lot of our viewers, but.
Right.
I know a lot of my fans are super geeks though, so they're probably like, actually,
Man.
That is amazing. Well, DC, I've taken enough of your time, probably. Thanks so much for doing this. I definitely hope to work with you in the future, for sure.
Absolutely. Great talking about the stuff I love to do. It's a rare opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, thanks again, man. Everyone check out his stuff, including Born of Myth and more. Thanks, man.
Hey, thank you.
Such a treat. Well, special thanks to my guests Lindsay Stidham and DC Hitt. Catch us all new next week for an episode that's definitely a destination episode with Hollywood icon Richard Reilly. Yes, that Richard Reilly. All right, guys, enjoy the view, but also, whoa, watch the road. Good night.
This portion of that Kev 1 show is supported by Bohemian Dream Gifts, made with organic and natural oils that nourish and hydrate your skin. Man, I don't know if it's the weather outside or the gym that was killing my skin, because my right elbow on the, it itched like the Dickens, like I was becoming like the lizard from Marvel Comics. I think it's that machine where you put your elbow in and do the lifts, for the bicep. But I was itching my skin like crazy during, well, I won't say who because I don't want them associated with rough skin, with one of our guests here in the near future here. But my right elbow was getting ashy and coming up, getting red and irritated. Anyway, I used some of the promotional cookie dough body oil from Bohemian Dream Gifts that they gave us, and my skin, I'm not kidding, came back. I can vouch for that one. The cookie dough oil body oil. The cookie dough body oil brought my skin back to life like an Evanescence song. I'm not kidding. My skin is smooth and happy again. 100%. You can buy cookie dough oil on Etsy at the Bohemian Dream Gifts shop. Check out their other stuff as well, but that's one that I swear by now. And as soon as my promotional one runs out, I'm going to order some myself. So go to Etsy and visit the Bohemian Dream Gifts shop today.